Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Leather Action. We got a product review today for dual vane wind flags. These are new on the market. These are very well built. We're going to be talking about some pros and cons to wind flags in general, and why they are so important, um, and be talking about what makes these really, really good. So without further ado, let's get into it. So wind flags, they're probably the most underrated piece of bench rest equipment in my opinion. And people talk about all the time that wind doesn't affect a 22 at 50 yards, or you don't need a set of wind flags to shoot a 22 at 50 yards or something like that. And that is 100% false. If you don't have a set of wind flags, it's like trying to see through this. Obviously, you can't see anything because it's dark. It's like trying to look in the darkness without a flashlight. It's the same thing with wind. You can't shoot through what you can't see and what's not there. So we're going to talk about this product review, talk about probably, at least in my opinion, the best dual vane wind flag on the market today, some of the pros and cons and neat things that they put into them when they were designing them. The person designing this is very, very smart in the bench rest world, and I highly encourage you guys to go check out a set of these because I guarantee you they will up your bench rest game a lot. All right, so introducing the Windsense Safe Side. So these wind flags, they're dual vane and they use a quadrant wind intelligence, which is just a meter that the person that designed these wind flags has come up with. So I'll put that in the top corner of the screen. That way you can get kind of an idea of what they're talking about. Um, First thing we're going to talk about is the problem with a lot of other wind flags. So a lot of your other wind flags, they'll show only your wind direction and the speed, and they're not going to show things like your risky conditions and what those risky conditions are. It may have you to try to figure out how to make a shot under pressure and make you and cause you to miss, and one or two bad wind decisions can cost you a match, and it's obviously not good. All right, so your solution to that would be these wind flags. So they have shoot and no shoot zones or safe side zones, which is what they call the where you can shoot. Um, so on your quadrant, it uses your ballistic logic. It's just like a face of a clock, um, and it clearly identifies all of your four quadrant boundaries. So basically, each of your section is a quadrant, and trying to figure out what to shoot or what wind condition to shoot. As you can see, these two wind flags are set up. They've got their tails on them. This is how you would buy them. I mean, they come in different colors. I mean, you can change that. I just like the black and yellow. But the wind is not super hard one direction. It's kind of switchy back and forth a little bit. And you can see that these things are sensitive. So, like I said, I've really been happy with how sensitive these things are, without necessarily being too sensitive to where they just kind of dance all over the place, because that can get really, really confusing. Um, so basically, with these things, they're gonna help give you the confidence to wait and not shoot instead of just guess and try to hold somewhere in the middle. So, um, basically where these things would really shine is if you've got it to where it's kind of dancing between two quadrants, and you don't know which one to shoot. So you just kind of try to find one and guess and shoot. This is really going to help you kind of dial that in on what quadrant you need to shoot on. Um, so obviously, the more precise you can be, the better you're going to shoot. It makes your shooting day or competition way, way, way better. Okay, so how this quadrant thing works. I know some of you guys may be scratching your head wondering what the crap I'm talking about. Um, so as you can see on these wind flags, and I'll show you one that I've just got set up, and we'll get you a closer view on these. Where you can see them, but they have your initial fins on the front, and they have these two red lines on them. There's one on this side and there's one on that side. I hope you guys can see that good. Um, so basically what these are talking about is if you can't see those red lines, you are fine. If you can only see one, that is a no shoot zone. That is a quadrant that you do not want to shoot at because you are trying to guess. If you can see both, you're fine because you're on the outside of that quadrant. So if you can see anywhere between this post and this post, if you can see one of those or in the middle off of this fin, you're not supposed to shoot because that is a no shoot zone. Okay, so we're giving you a closer look at these wind flags. and what they're talking about with your quadrant shooting and your shooting and no shooting zones. So as you can see, these things rotate. You see the two lines, two red lines. So it lines up with that fin, either fin, yellow or the black. Sorry, my arm's in the way, but they do line up. So basically, what these are talking about is if you can see this when you're looking downrange, you're fine. If you can see one red line or in between those two red lines like that, that is a no shoot zone because you're kind of just having to guess on where you're hitting. And that is obviously not good. We want to make sure that we're knowing what we're hitting. That way we can hit the center every time. So if you can see both lines, you're fine. You're out of that no shoot zone. As long as you're not in the middle of the red or touching one of the red ones, you are fine. And obviously it's the same way with the other side. So they are very, very sensitive to your wind, very, very well thought after. There is a view of the back. So there is your top bubble level for leveling your stand. There's your back bubble level for leveling your actual flag. And there's just a little bit better of a view on how they work. So you can see the two tails whipping pretty good, and it is pretty calm for the most part today on wind. So if they'll react like this in low wind conditions, just imagine what they can do in your heavy wind conditions. So these things are made out of carbon fiber. They have high steel ball bearings in them that they rotate on, and they are very well built. They are really, really cool. And you know, something that I've not liked about dual vane wind flags in the past is they don't really break down very good. So, you know, I had a set, I was constantly breaking them. Well, with these things, what's cool about them is they just pop together. You know? So there's one fin, there's your other fin, and then you can break it down to that, or you can take that set screw out and pull the whole thing off. So they really break down really cool, which is a very, very nice feature. Um, you know, they have your top level to level your stand, and they have a level to level the actual wind flag itself to where you're getting the best and most accurate readings you can possibly get. And for whatever reason, if you were to break one of these, I mean, you can get replacements and you don't have to replace the whole wind flag. You're just replacing a piece of it, which is a really, really handy um, thing that they offer. With that, we're going to show you some more footage on how these wind flags work. Uh, you know, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Stay tuned and stick around for video coming very, very soon where I'm shooting under these wind flags, talking about, you know, some more pros and cons, just kind of giving you guys another angle on these wind flags, see if we can shoot underneath them or not. And with that, we will see you guys on the next one.